So Bottas really needs to take the fight to Lewis in this race to stay in the championship. Oh, he spun. I haven't done one of these for a while, have I? Purely because there hasn't been a lot to write about. But history's been matched. Formula 1 now has 2 7-time world champions. And it's at a track that's highly regarded, albeit absolutely soaked when the race started. And it's lights out and away they crawl. Now, if you've been on the internet in the last 24 hours between qualifying and the race, you'll have probably seen most people betting on an easy win for Max after Stroll went off at turn 1, taking his own teammate with him because Stroll bad. And that was along with the haha Hamilton best car, only 6, he's useless crap that you see from Formula 1 fans these days because they're absolutely god-awful people. So imagine my surprise when Lance Stroll pulled out a half-decent lead after about 5 laps over the rest of the field. The tracing points seemed to have something the other cars didn't, but that could have been due to setup or just the car or, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this kind of thing. But we saw in qualifying on Saturday that the Red Bull wasn't particularly good on the intermediate tyres and the Mercedes was just crap everywhere. It was also funny to hear Stroll calmly say, "It's getting drier, eh?" as all the other cars were doing their best Takumi Fujiwara impressions. But Max's race was, at least for me, in trouble from the very start. He bogged down and he chose to keep his foot almost pinned, and then was driving quite aggressively and impatiently to try and get back into it. Okay, right, people love Max's driving. It's aggressive, it's entertaining, it's brilliant, it's great TV. It's a lot like Ash Sutton over in the BTCC, but time and place, come on. Yeah, best driver on the grid? Not yet. I mean, case in point when he tried to follow Perez very closely through that kink in the DRS section, which is called Faux Rouge by fans, and he lost it in the spray. Had to come in and pit, put on some fresh tyres. And that was the win gone. Only a safety car would have brought him back in for the win, really. But he wasn't the only one to go off. And I'm not just going to single out Max here because, you know, I like having a pop at everybody. Hamilton had a few moments going wide at corners and he had to take avoiding action when battling with Vettel, which is an event in itself. Haven't seen that very much lately, have we? But that said, for all the shit that Vettel gets, Spindala, aren't I funny? He kept it on the track. He didn't hit anything, and he wasn't facing the wrong way once, unlike Bottas. But he'll be back next year. Bottas 4.0 or whatever software update we're on now. And he just didn't have a good time out there at all. And when he was told there were 4 laps remaining, he said, well, I wish it was less. Well, I mean, he was a lap down, so he only had to do 3? His wish was sort of granted. But despite everything happening and struggling for grip and so on, Hamilton managed to do enough tiptoeing around to get himself into 3rd after pit stops and Albon spinning off to be in a shot with taking on the previous year's car. He closed in at a rate of around 2 seconds a lap on Perez and then inherited 2nd after Stroll was pitted and then took Perez around the outside. And then typical Hamilton pissed off into the distance. Stroll just couldn't get his tyres turned on and he tumbled down the order, which is a shame because he kept it in the lead for about 35 laps and he didn't crash once. Considering most expected him to be facing the wrong way or in a wall before the end of the first lap, he did well and deserves some credit. He's been pretty good this season. He's had flashes of brilliance, well I say brilliance, above mediocrity, but he's also had crap times like at Imola last time. And considering the so-called best on the grid Verstappen couldn't get by either of them, and he was pulling away a decent lead. On you, Lance. Ferrari also had a decent race, and like I said, Vettel managed to keep it on the road, and it will be a decent boost of confidence for him to take his first podium of the season, even if it came at the expense of Leclerc, who went full Timo Glock into the final section of the circuit. But a 3rd and 4th for the Reds is the best they could ever hope for, at least this season anyway. Vettel himself made a huge chunk of places on the first lap. That's it. No jokes. No poking of Tifosi. There you go. There's some credit. You can stop calling me a hater now. But at the end, when it's all said and done, Lewis won the race and took his 7th title in style, considering the Mercedes was supposed to be nowhere. And yes, there's going to be a lot of salt in the comments of this video saying things like, oh, it's because he had the best car, no competition. Why have I turned into Donald Trump? So Lewis Hamilton, he's a loser. I don't like losers. He's been buying cars from China. The Chinese have been supplying him with cars. That's why he's so dominant. He's total fake news. He's a fraud. Oh my god. All that aside, you got to be in it to win it. And he has. The consistency's been incredible. You might not like it, but that's the way things have gone. And it can't be changed. He's equal with Schumacher on titles, and he surpassed Schumacher in wins. And when he started in Formula 1 in 2007, I was 16 and in my final year of school. I turned 30 a month ago. Yes, he had a decent car at the start, but at that time, I don't think I ever would have expected him to get close to Michael's records, let alone beat or match them. He probably would have got 2 or 3 titles maximum. I mean, remember when everybody said he was mental because he was leaving McLaren to go to Mercedes, a team that had won all these titles and races, to go to a team that at that time had only won 1. You might not like him, but I think you just got to respect what he's achieved. Oh, and also congratulations to Ash Sutton as well, who won the British Touring Car title today. I'm a Turkington guy, since he's technically a teammate of mine for sim racing stuff with Zancho Simsport, but Ash drove brilliantly all season, and it probably would have been wrapped up even sooner if not for the chaos at Croft. So this has been my thoughts on the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix. Leave your thoughts in the comments section, and let's get a discussion going, because, well, that's why I do Pressing Issues. It's a discussion. It's a forum, I think. Is that the right word? So if you think I made some good points, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more talking head pieces from one of the biggest faces in sim racing, literally, I've got a massive face, then be sure to subscribe. And massive thanks, as always, go out to the patrons of this channel who are on Patreon, and they're coming up on the screen now. Thank you very much for your continued support as I rebuild things and take things in a new direction. And if you want to help support me or just join in the social media bants, then the links are in the description for you. So until next time, I've been Millward. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again very soon for another video. So until then, goodbye. Big news.